Alright, this is going to be our addition quiz part 2. This one's going to be a little bit more complicated than the previous one. We're going to let the user input how many questions they want, and then we'll tell the user their score at the end. So this is all going to be done in the main method. It's about borderline what I would do in the main method, but this one's fine. In the future, programs this complicated will probably be done with multiple methods. Let's get started. Notice I have this package import at the top again, so I can generate random numbers. So we'll start with the same numbers that we had last time. Let's say random Paul equals new random Joey equals new random. Then we need to actually set these things, so int r1 equals Paul dot next int. We'll have our max. Let's go 1 through 50. Let's make it 1 through 100. So max is 100 minus our min of 1, and then we add our min at the end. So plus 1. I actually think I may have got that wrong in the previous video now that I think about it. That's fine, it all worked out well. So int r2 equals joey dot next int. We'll have our max, which is 100 minus 1 plus 1. And it looks redundant, and it is in this case, but in the future, well, this is just a general formula to work with any kind of max and min. It just gets a little redundant if you have 1 as your min. Generate random numbers. So R1 and R2 are random numbers. We'll put that down there. We'll use that in a little bit. So we need to tell the user to input the number of questions for the quiz, and then we'll need to get a scanner. So, well, I don't know what's going on there. System input equals new, or I'm sorry, scanner should have been the word. Scanner input equals new scanner system dot in. So let's say number of, we'll set what they say to an int, so int number of questions, because if we had double there like 5.5, that doesn't make sense to have 5.5 questions on a quiz, equals put dot next int. So we have the number of questions, and then we're going to generate a question each time. So we need a for loop. So for int I equals 0, while I is less than number of questions. And oh, forgot that there. Then we'll iterate I by 1 each time. Then inside this for loop is where everything needs to happen. So we'll have the generation of the random numbers in there, because we want a new question each time. Now this is going to look really similar to our old one. Basically the old one, just with a extra for loop in there. So here we'll tell the user get the number of questions, which that should be easy, and we'll say tell user what's going on. And we might as well tell them what's going on. This is an addition quiz. we'll say enter there. That'll sound a little bit neater. That's just some housekeeping stuff. It doesn't really affect the code much. Okay, so back to our for loop. We are inside the for loop. We have generated two random numbers. Then we need to create a answer. So int answer equals r1 plus r. Sorry, not 4. I don't know why I keep hitting that. We'll tell them. We'll have the user input the answer here. We'll give them the question and have them put the answer. So first we can tell them the question, r1 plus r2 plus, we'll leave a space there, equals, and that should be good. So now we have to have the user input the answer. So user answer, well, that'll be an integer, so int user answer equals input.next int. Alright, so the next thing they enter will be set to user answer. And here we have our if statement. So if answer equals user answer, we'll tell them correct. Otherwise it wouldn't equal, so we'll tell them incorrect. Alright, at the beginning of this, we can actually we can tell them what number we're on, make that a little bit neater. So that would be I plus 1 plus, that'll just give them the number. Alright, so this will, there we are. This will give the user the number that they're on. And we'll run this program, see how it does. This addition quiz, enter the number of questions for the quiz, let's say 3. 95 plus 40, that's 135. Correct. Number 2 is 39 plus 94. Let's see, that is 133. And the last one is 107. I'll get it wrong just to make sure the incorrect's working. Let's say I think that's 5. Says incorrect. Alright, but what if we want to tell the user the results? Well, we'll need a counter. So anytime that this, anytime it goes here, we want to increment our counter. So let's see. Counter just keeps track of some kind of number for you. So int counter equals 0. Here we'll type in counter plus plus. And then after this whole loop, we want to tell the user how they did. So tell them you scored A, and then we'll tell them the number of this counter right here, that's the number of right answers, so counter plus, and then we want to put that out of, and then we'll do that out of the total number. So the total number is right here, number of questions, so number of questions. and then we'll just put a period at the end. It doesn't like that for some reason. Oh, this parenthesis that I accidentally typed here. That should be over here. Alright, we'll run this. Say I want 5 questions for my quiz. 41 plus 21, I'll get 4 of them right, I guess. 62. Correct. Scored a 1 out of 5. Alright, that's an error. I'm actually glad that came up. I'll let you look at the code for a second, see if you can find out why. Pause the video if you'd like more time to think. I'm about to tell you the answer. Alright, that came because I accidentally put this inside the for loop. So, the for loop starts... Actually, this whole thing won't work. The counter should be outside the for loop. Because otherwise, with the counter inside the for loop, it would reset to 0 every time, and we don't want that. Then, this right here, where we tell them the score, that should be outside the for loop also. Okay. So now if we run this again, it should be correct. I think we fixed all the errors, so let's say 5 questions. I'll get 4 of them right to make sure it's working. So that would be 25, or 35, I'm sorry. 62 and 53, 111, 115. 30 and 18 would be 48. 86 and 34, that would be 120. And I'll get this last one wrong, I'll say 34 plus 25 equals 8. It says incorrect, you scored a 4 out of 5. Alright, so this addition quiz seems to be working quite well. There are a few different ways you could have done it, and hopefully you spotted those errors that I had before I told you what they were. Hopefully you spotted them during the video. Alright, if you have any questions or any kind of little project you want me to make similar to this, give me a comment, let me know, and I'll try to get that done for you. Thanks for watching.